So, good afternoon, friends. We are here into the Prerna series lecture, which is being sponsored by AICTE, and it is for your GATE preparation. Today, we'll be discussing about the runoff, hydrographics, and the flood. The time is very short, 1 hour lecture, and within this hour lecture, our routine to at least 2 units we have to cover. So it will be just a revision to all of you. The syllabus included here is the hydrograph analysis, the unit hydrographs, flood estimation and routing, reservoir capacity, reservoir and the channel routing, surface runoff models. Okay. Some syllabus is arranged, something is which should be at the earlier, it has been put later, but we will discuss serially. Again, a bit recall to you regarding hydrologic cycle. We all know, friends, that hydrologic cycle is nothing but a rotation wherein the water from the water body gets evaporated due to the solar energy, solar heat, and that evaporated water moves upwards, its density being low. Clouds are formed, clouds are transported from one place to another. The clouds, that is the water vapor, they come close together due to the cohesion, and with the help of the certain condensation nuclei, the condensation takes place. Condensation means coming together and formation of the water molecule or water particle due to the cooling. And as this condensation process goes on continuing, and this water particle becomes heavier, due to gravity they falls down. That process is called as the precipitation. From the cloud to earth, while it travels, that water particle or that rain, to which we also called as rainfall, it is being intercepted in between by the trees, by the buildings, and that is called as the loss of certain precipitation or the rainfall water, that is called as the interception. Some water is being lost. That precipitation water, rainfall water is being lost due to transpiration process. That is the evaporation of the water through plant leaves. Some water gets percolated into the soil due to the permeability. That is called as infiltration. Some water gets evaporated, and the remaining water, after saturation of the soil, either flows over the soil, that is the earth surface. Some water follows the upper topography of the earth, but after percolation it flows below the surface of the earth. And some water moves due to the gravity to the groundwater table. These three waters are called as the runoffs. Three types of the runoff: surface, subsurface, and the groundwater flow or the base flow we'll be discussing. So this is in short, I wanted to recollect you regarding the hydrologic cycle. Runoff. This is the portion of the precipitation or the rainfall, as I have told you just now, after meeting the evapotranspiration demand, and it appears in the surface streams as has been shown here. It appears in the surface streams. Streams means the rivers, the small nalas, okay, as well as to the accumulated water also, like the depression storage or the lakes, reservoir, the flowing river. So that water which appears in the surface streams of either perennial, means flowing for the 12 months, or intermittent nature is called as the runoff. That is the flow collected from the drainage basin, again the catchment area, and appearing at an outlet of the basin as has been shown here. Okay, this is the catchment area. I regularly try to explain you what is catchment area. So runoff of a catchment area in any specified period is the total quantity of water draining into the stream, that is the water flowing body or the channel, or into the reservoir in that period. Okay, as I have told you. This runoff is expressed as volume per unit, that is meter cube per second. The various units or in which way units the runoff is expressed. These in three ways it is expressed. The same thing, that is the runoff, that is the water which is being accumulated into the stream due to the precipitation after satisfying the needs of the evaporation, transpiration, infiltration, interceptions, depression, storage, etc. All the abstractions, whatever water that remains and which we can see into the flowing streams is called as the runoff. That is also called, we the more quantity or the maximum quantity of runoff is also called as the flood. We will be discussing later on. So this runoff is measured in meter cube per second or the cumex. It can be measured in cumex per square kilometer if we consider it as the water spread over the catchment area, drainage basin, and it can also be expressed, or it is expressed in millimeters per day, millimeter per month, or millimeter per year. That is in depth. The various components as can be seen here, the precipitation, the precipitated water after satisfying the need of the surface soil, that is after saturation of the soil, some water percolates into the ground, that is called as the infiltration, and some water follows over the surface of the ground, that is called as the overland flow or surface runoff, and reaches to the stream or the river. Some water reaches to the stream after percolation, that is called as the interflow or subsurface runoff, and after reaching and some water reaches to groundwater table, and it also supplies water sometimes to the stream flowing river, that is called as the base flow. So three main components of the runoff: surface runoff, subsurface runoff, and the groundwater runoff. Just now we discuss. Some part of the precipitation which satisfies the needs of the evaporation, transpiration, and the interception reaching the ground, it is also called as the through fall. Okay. The precipitation falling on water surface is called as the channel precipitation. Becomes a stream flow, means some precipitation or rainfall falls over the flowing river. That rainfall, part of the rainfall or the precipitation which falls over the flowing river or the stream is called as the channel precipitation. Some part of the precipitation is stored or is absorbed into the storages on the earth surface or on the ground, such as the small ponds or the swamps. That is very small water bodies, very small water bodies. Before it becomes evaporated, or evaporation and infiltration is called as the depression storage. And the remaining water, after it satisfies the need of the ground surface or ground soil, top soil, saturation, after saturation, flows over the ground is called as the overland flow. And it reduces as the precipitation reduces. It is also called as the surface runoff. That is the part of the total runoff which travels over the ground surface to reach the stream channel and then through the stream channel to the basin outlet. ठीक है, कैचमेंट एरिया का जो आउटलेट है, जो पॉइंट अंडर कंसिडरेशन रहता है जहां हमें रन ऑफ गिनना है, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज द आउटलेट. So the quantity of water that reaches at the outlet of the stream in the catchment area in the basin due to precipitation, due to the rainfall, is called as the surface runoff. Listen very carefully which terms I use continuously. Surface runoff, again overland flow. It also includes the channel precipitation just now we have discussed. Some water infiltrates, percolates, permeates laterally through the permeates into the soil and laterally moves through the upper soil part towards the stream channel above the main groundwater table, but it is above the main groundwater, is known as interflow, is also known as subsurface runoff, subsurface storm flow also it is called as. It is called as storm seepage, and it is also called as secondary base flow. And the remaining part which reaches to the groundwater table after deep percolation and due to the gravitation force and elevates the groundwater table, increases the groundwater table or increases the quantity into the groundwater reservoir, that is the aquifers, is called as the base flow or the groundwater flow. Okay, it is third part of the runoff. The various factors that affect the runoff are the climatic factors and the physiographic factors. We will just list it, try to understand because the time is very short. The climatic factors include the type of the precipitation, the intensity of the rainfall, that is the precipitation, duration of the rainfall. Intensity means what is the type of precipitation means concentration over the catchment area. Intensity means whether it is 1 centimeter per hour, 2 centimeter per hour, 3 centimeter per hour. Duration means for how much duration the rainfall is occurring. Aerial duration of the rainfall on the catchment area, on how much part of the catchment area the rainfall is occurring. More the aerial distribution, more will be runoff. Direction of the storm movement means the whether the storm or that rainfall which occurs due to the flood, due to the clouds, whether those clouds move in the direction of the flow of the stream, that is along the catchment area, or opposite to the direction of the stream, or perpendicular to the direction of the stream, also gives or also affects the runoff. If it is in the direction of the stream, then naturally runoff will be more. If it is in the opposite direction or perpendicular to the stream, the runoff will be. Antecedent precipitation means before this precipitation which is occurring the runoff, is there any earlier precipitation that has occurred and the soil is being moistened? Other climatic factors such as the temperature, evaporation, transpiration, atmospheric pressure, etc. Land use, physiographic factors, land use, type of soil, area of the basin, shape of the basin, elevation, all these factors, slope of the ground, orientation of the ground, type of the drainage networks, means whether the drainage network in the catchment area is large. If the drainage network is small, then naturally the water which will reach to the mainstream will be less. If the number of the drainage network or the density is more, then the runoff will be more. Indirect drainage, artificial drainage due to irrigation, etc. Okay, these are the two types of the catchments area. This is fan shaped catchment area. This is fern leaf shaped catchment area. Due to this catchment area, this is the hydrograph, and due to this fern leaf shaped catchment area, this is the hydrograph. You can see the fan shaped catchment area gives the hydrograph, which is a graph between duration and the discharge, that is the runoff. Okay, we will be discussing it in our due course of the time. Again, the same thing, that is the catchment area, etc. I regularly try to explain you again a type of the catchment area. Hydrograph will be moving into our discussion. The plot of the discharge in a stream plotted against time is called as the hydrograph. Okay, it is the at certain location of the stream. If we measure the runoff, that is the discharge, with respect to time, for say present 24 hours, or for say 1 week, for 1 month, then the graph between the time, that is the maybe in hour, maybe in day, maybe in month, or maybe in week. Generally we take it for the hour or a day. Hourly discharge time लेते हैं हम discharge गिनने के लिए. The word time versus the flow in Qmex, that is the runoff. Flow means runoff of the at certain location of the stream. This graph is called as the hydrograph. What is hydrograph again? Hydrograph is, though we theoretically say it is a graph, but hydrograph generally, or the hydrograph shows 100% the pattern of the runoff into the stream. Try to understand these things. Okay, means as the rainfall continues, initially the runoff into the stream is without the precipitation. Whatever flow is there into the stream, that is being shown at the beginning. But due to the effect of the precipitation, which we call as a excess precipitation, this results into the runoff, increase in the runoff. Therefore, the runoff increases and can be represented in this hydrograph. It reaches to the maximum value, and again, as the rainfall stops or the rainfall decreases, then the runoff also decreases. There are four types of the hydrograph generally: annual hydrograph, monthly hydrograph, seasonal hydrograph, and the flood hydrograph. Annual hydrograph are the variation of the daily or the weekly or the 10 daily mean flows, that is discharges for the whole year. Monthly hydrograph, again variation of the hourly, daily mean flows over for a month. Seasonal means for one season, depicting the variation of discharge for a particular season, such as the monsoon or the dry season. Okay, or the winter season, you can say. Three season we have: monsoon season, the summer season, and the winter season. For these three seasons, or for a complete year, if we plot the hydrograph will looks like this, wherein the time in days. Now here, as it is annual, monthly, or a seasonal hydrograph, so hourly duration will make the hydrograph very large. So we take the duration in days, or we may take the duration in weeks also. Okay, because for that the scale and the graph will be large, and this is the discharge or the runoff. So this is the uh, type of the hydrograph. So flood hydrograph, or the hydrograph due to storm, representing stream flow due to storm over a catchment. Now from this mass curve hydrograph we have seen just now, if we take a particular part of the hydrograph, as you can see here, you may be seeing on your screen the arrow or the cursor, and if we take this much part and we plot it like this, so this much, or that peak part or peak flood showing hydrograph due to a particular storm, due to a specific storm, is called as the flood hydrograph. Annual and seasonal hydrographs are of use calculating surface water reservoir studies, drought studies. For flood hydrographs are essentially analyzing stream characteristics. There is one again concept, water year. In our India, we take the water year as from June 1st of this year to May 31st of the next year, following calendar year. Water year completes, wherein the water year, the complete cycle of climatic changes is expected. Just then the way three types of the streams are there that we generally classify. The perennial means the streams which are flowing for the 12 month. Intermittent means the stream has the water or the discharge or the runoff in monsoon and some part of the winter season. And ephemeral means this ephemeral stream has got the flow or the flood only during when the precipitation is there. You can see the three types of the streams are shown. Generally the perennial, for the perennial stream, the its river bed level is below the ground water table. वहाँ की जो ग्राउंड वाटर टेबल रहती है उसके नीचे ये पेरिनियल स्ट्रीम की रिवर बेड लेवल रहती है. तो ग्राउंड वाटर टेबल से ये स्ट्रीम को वाटर सप्लाई होता है, पानी मिलता है, तो ये 12 महीने बहती है. वैसे ही इंटरमिटेंट स्ट्रीम में ड्यूरिंग द रेनी सीजन द ग्राउंड वाटर एंड ऑल्सो सम पार्ट ऑफ द विंटर सीजन द ग्राउंड वाटर टेबल raised is above the river bed level for some part of the year. So therefore, other than the precipitation water, the groundwater table also supplies the water to the stream, and the water appear into the stream for certain part of the year. Therefore, they are called as the intermittent. But for ephemeral stream, the water is the runoff appears into the stream only during the rains. No other water is being supplied as has been shown here. This is the groundwater table. So groundwater table is above the river bed level, perennial stream. Groundwater table just touches to the river bed level. Means some part for some part of the season, the groundwater table supplies water, intermittent, and no supply of groundwater table, only river flows due to the storms is called as a ephemeral. Again, with hydrograph and certain photograph, I tried to explain. Then this is the intermittent stream and the ephemeral stream. There are various methods to measure the discharges of the stream. They are direct determination of the stream discharge, wherein area, velocity method, dilution, electromagnetic method, ultrasonic method, and there are other indirect method, wherein the stream flow, because we need to know the discharges through the stream. As I have been telling you again and again, the subject of the hydrology deals with maximum in our, from our point of view, civil engineers point of view, is for knowing the flood discharge, so that by knowing the flood discharge we can design our hydro structures from hydraulic point of view. Therefore the discharge is to be found out by these two methods, direct and indirect. In indirect determination hydraulic structures use करते हैं हम कुछ, weirs, flumes, gated structure, और एक दूसरी मेथड है स्लोप एरिया मेथड, उससे हम ये डिस्चार्ज गिनते हैं. ठीक है, हम इन शॉर्ट these are the measurement of the flow area and the flow velocity we try to find out. Flow velocity is being found out with the help of the floats, pitot tube, current meters are there. There is certain standard equation for the current meter. These are the types of the current meters that has been used. In area velocity method, we find out the cross-sectional area of the stream by exactly measuring it, either with the help of the tape, staff, and the level, or with the help of the certain electronic equipments, or with the help of the sound recorders, etc. We find out the velocity through different part of this stream. Area multiplied by velocity gives you the discharge. The another method is slope area method, wherein this is indirect method, wherein the use of the Manning's formula or by the Chase's formula to find out the velocity. V is equal to 1 by n r raised to 2 by 3 s raised to half. That is the velocity. Velocity multiplied by the area. Area is again found out physically, that is by measuring the tapes, staffs, or by the sound rebound recording methods, or any other means of the latest leveling equipments. And with the help of the all those area measurements, the hydraulic mean radius r, which is equal to a by p, found out. Slope gradient of the stream is found out, and then with that we can find out the discharge through the stream at various depths. So this is the another method which is called as the slope area method. Due to the time constraint, we could not go into the much detail. Now we will move on to the next, that is called as the annual runoff, because ultimately we are interested in the runoff, maximum flood. The water supplied by the stream for the whole annum, for the whole year, is called as the yield from that river. Okay, water supplied. It is usual yield to be referred to period of the end, then represents the annual runoff volume. Annual runoff volume, because we want that annual supply of the water from the stream for the design of the hydraulic structures like the dams, etc. This yield or runoff from the catchment can be computed daily, monthly, yearly by the various methods: linear or exponential method, empirical method, infiltration method, unit hydrograph method, rational methods, etc. There are certain equations which are expressed in terms of the line regression, straight line regression between the precipitation P and the runoff R. That is, runoff R is equal to AP plus B. R and the P represents the runoff and the precipitation respectively. A and B are the constants. There is another equation which is not a linear but exponential regression, wherein runoff is given by beta into P raised to n. Again, beta and m are the constant. All these A, B, beta and m, all these constants can be computed for a particular catchment area. Okay, so depending on knowing the rainfall over that area, with the help of the rain gauges, we can find out the runoff. There are another empirical equations derived by certain hydrologists, which are based on the catchment area, annual rainfall, nature or the type of the catchment, and the average temperature in that area. These are the English formula, Khoslas formula, and certain rational formula. The basic fundamental of all these formulas is runoff is multiplied by K into P. Runoff is equal to, runoff coefficient multiplied by precipitation. Runoff is in centimeter, that is, it is in depth. Rainfall is in depth, and K is runoff coefficient. It is very important that this runoff coefficient depends upon all other factors, including the type of the catchment area. Just you can see in this table the various runoff factors. So are the various areas from urban residential area to the forest area to the asphalt or the concrete pavement part. This English and the D'Souza formula, these are all the formulas derived by the different hydrologists in our part of the India. Just like Ghat regions of the Western India, this is the formula: R is equal to 0.85 P, 30.5. In the same way, for Deccan Plateau, the formula is also given. These are all based on the observations in that area and for that particular area. Khoslas formula is there, wherein the runoff is equal to the precipitation minus the Lm, and this Lm also, that constant depends on the temperature. It is given by 0.48 Tm. Tm is mean monthly temperature. This is the Khoslas formula. Again, based on their experiences. These are, you can say, like a thumb rule formulas. Then there are certain tables, standardized tables prepared for our India, for the again before our independence. These are all the British hydrologists. These have developed all these formulas based on their experiences, again to find out the flood values or the runoff. For Uttar Pradesh, They have prepared this table. The catchment area is divided into the various parts, classes A to E, like the flat area to very easily. For that, they have calculated the runoff percentages of the precipitation. So 10% of the precipitation gets converted into runoff into the flat, cultivated and black cotton soil. To very hilly area, 45%. And again, they have given certain constant based on the nature of the season, intensity of rainfall. Okay, all that. And again, these are used to find out the runoff. Certain standard tables, they are called as the Strange tables and curves, based on the studies done by Mr. Strange. And these are again can be used. These are again yearly rainfall versus yearly runoff, or daily rainfall versus the daily runoff. And these are used for the southern India or the South India. These are the Strange table again. There are certain rational formulas. Again, the basis of the formula is the same. That is, runoff is equal to certain constant C multiplied by the catchment area multiplied by the average precipitation in meter or in depth. So we get the runoff also in the depth. The various values of the C constants again depends on the catchment area. We can find out the runoff with the help of the infiltration method by finding the W with the help of the W index and find a phi index. We can plot the infiltration capacity curve with the help of the infiltration method, or we can have the W index and the phi index for that particular area. Phi index is nothing but the average precipitation rate, wherein above that precipitation rate or precipitation intensity, you can say, all the quantity of the rainfall gets converted into runoff. W index is the average infiltration rate, below which all the rainfall quantity or the precipitation quantity is nothing but the infiltration quantity. Above the W index, all the precipitation quantity is runoff plus all the other abstractions other than infiltration. So with the help of the phi index and W index, we can find out the runoff. Okay, so this is another method. There is the as the rational or the empirical formulas, a runoff, and between the runoff and the precipitation there are certain various correlations. That is, the runoff is given by is equal to some constant multiplied by precipitation. The another method to find out the runoff is by the hydrograph method. As I have told you, hydrograph is nothing but a graph between the duration and the discharge. And the hydrograph of a particular due to particular storm is called as the storm hydrograph, as can be seen on the right side. On the left side, you can see a mass curve of the hydrograph, that is larger duration multiplied by corresponding discharges or the runoffs. But some part of that mass curve of the rainfall or mass hydrograph, you can say, if we take out, then that hydrograph is called as the storm hydrograph. The storm hydrograph consists of three components. That is the rising limb. Okay, the components of the hydrograph are the rising limb, the central portion, that is A to B. If you could see on your screen, A to B is the rising limb. B to C, including P, that is BPC, is the peak or the crest element, crest part, and C to D is the recession limb. This generally depicts how, due to the excess or the effective rainfall, how the discharges into the stream increases, how it reaches to the peak value, and after the stoppage of the rainfall, how the runoff decreases from the catchment area. This is being depicted into this storm hydrograph. Isochrone is another concept. It is nothing. It is like iso height or the contour. These are nothing but the contour lines of the travel time, of the constant travel time. These are called as the isochrone. Means in certain catchment area, there are certain points. If over those points the rainfall occurs, then the runoff due to that rainfall, surface runoff due to that rainfall, will take same time to reach the outlet of the stream. Okay, so those points if we join, means the points, the isochrone is nothing but the line of the points joined, or the points over that line will require the constant or the same time for the runoff to reach the outlet of the stream, is called as the isochrone. Just a concept which you may be asked in exam. There are various time parameters in the hydrograph. They are called as the effective time duration, TRE, as has been shown here. That is the time duration due to the excess rainfall, or the rainfall that gets converted into the runoff. Thus, another time is called as the basin lag, or the lag time. As has been shown here, it is the center of gravity or centroid of the excess rainfall hydrograph, and the center of gravity of the hydrograph, or the peak point of the hydrograph. Between these, whatever time takes place, that is called as the lag time. Time to peak is from the starting time A to P. This is called as the time to peak, or the TP. Means the runoff starts increasing from point A into the stream. It reaches to the maximum value. That is time to peak. Time of concentration. Again, time of concentration is nothing but the maximum time taken, or largest time that has been taken by the runoff from the longest point in the catchment area to reach the outlet point, is called as the time of concentration. Recession time, TR, the time of concentration is shown here. The recession time, TR, is shown here. It is nothing but the end of effective rainfall to the end of the hydrograph. Between these two time is called as the TR. And the time base of the hydrograph, A to D, is called as the time, or time base of hydrograph. Time of concentration we have just discussed. There is one formula for time of concentration. It is derived by Mr. Kirpich, 0.000323 L raised to 0.77 S raised to 0.385. We need some time to find out various factors that affects the runoff, also affects the hydrograph. That is the, again, the catchment area, the intensity of rainfall, meteorological factor, geological factor, the watershed or the catchment area properties, the shape of the basin, whether it is fan shaped or the large catchment area or the small catchment area, the exposed surface of the catchment area, whether it is a permeable, non-permeable. So the climatic factors, the rainfall intensity, duration, distribution, type, rainfall or the snowfall, climatic factors, catchment factors, all these factors affects the runoff or the hydrograph also. To find out the exact quantity of the flood, we need to take out, or uh, reduce or to deduce, to deduct the quantity of the third part of the runoff, that is the base flow or the groundwater flow, from the total runoff. So therefore the flood quantity or the runoff, which only consists of the surface and the subsurface runoff, that we want to find out, that we want to calculate. Therefore we reduce or the deduce the base flow from the total runoff hydrograph. That is called as the separation of the base flow. It is done by the three methods. The in the first method, we find out, is called as the straight line method. That is the points A and D are joined. Above part of that line is called as the direct runoff hydrograph, and below this line AD is called as the base flow hydrograph or base flow, and the separated hydrograph is being found out. Before that, we locate the point D. For location of the point D, there are various formulas. We use those formulas because point A on the hydrograph can be located easily, but it is difficult to locate D. So there is another method. Two lines method is there. There is third method is curves extension method. All these methods are used to separate the third part of the hydrograph runoff, that is the base flow, so as to get the exact quantity of the runoff or the flood which we need to discuss for the design of the structure. The resulting hydrograph excluding the base flow is called as the direct runoff hydrograph, which is equal to the effective rainfall hydrograph. Okay, when from the rainfall hydrograph we reduce the losses like the infiltration and all abstractions, then the remaining part of the hydrograph is the rainfall excess, which is equal to the runoff, direct runoff hydrograph. Then there is another concept, that is the unit hydrograph. Again, the type of the hydrograph which gives the 1 centimeter of the runoff is called as the unit hydrograph. And this unit hydrograph is generally denoted or signified as certain unit hours, means D hours unit hydrograph. D means maybe a unit hour of 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hours. So in this way, in short, the unit hydrograph always represents 1 centimeter of the runoff. Means the excess rainfall is also equal to 1 centimeter, that we can deduce or we can understand from this. We can say the 3 hours unit hydrograph, we can say 4 hours unit hydrograph. Okay, so unit hydrograph always give 1 centimeter depth of the runoff, means again 1 centimeter depth of the excess rainfall. So therefore, if we divide the 1 centimeter depth of the runoff or the rainfall by duration of the hydrograph. Okay, duration of hydrograph means duration of the excess rainfall. D hours unit hydrograph means wherein D shows the hours of the or duration of the excess rainfall. It does not show the duration of the or the base lag or base time of the hydrograph. So 1 by D will give you the rainfall intensity. Okay, 1 by D. D is the duration of the rainfall, and the rainfall is 1 centimeter, which is equal to 1 centimeter of runoff. So 1 by D centimeters per hour, that we can say. Various assumptions are there in the unit hydrograph theory, that it has been assumed that the rainfall is uniform over the catchment area, it is distributed, duration of the rainfall is constant, ordinates of the direct runoff with commonplace are directly proportional to their amount. The various assumptions are there. The basic use of this unit hydrograph is to find out the various hydrographs of various duration as well as various rainfall intensities. Okay, we want certain standardized form so as to get the another type of the hydrograph, that is the another uh, runoff discharges. Those are again needed for the design of the structures. There are various methods for construction of the unit hydrograph. So overall, the in the all in this method which is standardized or which is being used, wherein for we have a particular direct runoff hydrograph. Okay, from that direct runoff hydrograph, if we sum all the ordinates of that direct runoff hydrograph and divide it by the catchment area, multiplied it by the duration, gap duration of the rainfall, and multiply it by 0.36, then we get the direct runoff in centimeter in depth. And if we multiply this n value with the direct runoff hydrograph ordinate, we can get the unit hydrograph values. In this way, we have certain hydrographs, total discharges corresponding to the time, base flow is there, that is deducted. So ordinates of direct runoff hydrograph. Just now I have told you we have found out the n value, and after dividing that n value with the direct ordinates of direct runoff, we can get the ordinates of the unit hydrograph. This unit hydrograph, as I have told you just now, is used to find out either the ordinates of the unit hydrograph of multiple duration, maximum duration, minimum duration, or it is also used to find out the direct runoff hydrograph. Friends, just in short, understand the unit hydrograph concept is being derived, is being used to find out ultimately the various quantities of the floods, because this unit hydrograph actually particularly denotes for a particular duration of the rainfall excess. But from that particular duration, we can find out for the various durations as well as various rainfall intensities. Okay. Due to the shortage of time, we could not go into much detail because we have to again cover the flood part. For that purpose, S hydrograph concept is also used. S hydrograph is called as the summation hydrograph. It is again formed by summation of the ordinates of the certain unit hydrograph. So S hydrograph is therefore is called as the summation hydrograph, and this hydrograph is being used to find out either the unit hydrograph of the different duration, which may be in multiple or which may not be in multiple, or whose duration may be less than the available unit hydrograph. For example, if I have a 3 hours unit hydrograph, okay, from 3 hours unit hydrograph I can produce 3.5, 4 hours, 4.5 hours, or maybe 6 hours unit hydrograph, means more than 3 hours, maybe in multiple 3 hours, 6 hours, 9 hours, ऐसा तो मिलेगा ही, लेकिन 3.5, 4.5, 7 hours और 3 hours से कम भी 2 hours, 1.5 hours, तो उसके लिए हम ये एस हाइड्रोग्राफ कंसेप्ट यूज करते हैं, उसके लिए एस हाइड्रोग्राफ हम प्रोड्यूस करते हैं, और एस हाइड्रोग्राफ को यूज करके वी कैन फाइंड आउट दिस थिंग्स. ओके, various methods. Then we will move on to the next part of our discussion, floods. We'll try to cover within 10 to 15 minutes. The floods, as we know, friends, occurs when the runoff of the stream, due to the very excess intensity of rainfall, more duration of the rainfall, the runoff does not remain into the section of the river. When the runoff does not remain into the section of the river, then we call it as a flood. नदी का जो क्रॉस सेक्शन रहता है, डिफाइंड क्रॉस सेक्शन, उसमें जब रन ऑफ नहीं रहता और आजू बाजू में फैलता है, और उसके कारण जो आजू बाजू की जमीन जाती है, घर रहे तो घर जाते हैं, और बहुत सारे लॉसेस अभी हम जो देख रहे हैं आंखों से कि दीज लॉसेस ऑफ द लाइफ प्रॉपर्टी, तो उसको फ्लड कहा जाता है. और हमारे सिविल इंजीनियर के हिसाब से ये फ्लड ही इंपॉर्टेंट है, क्योंकि ये फ्लड के लिए जो डिस्चार्ज है उसके लिए ही हमारे स्ट्रक्चर डिजाइन रहते हैं. वी कैन सी वेरियस लॉसेस ड्यू टू द फ्लड्स. लाइफ एंड द प्रॉपर्टी, inundate the surrounding area. Inundate means submerge the surrounding area of the river. Damages to agricultural and the valuable property, create problem for the construction, operation and separation of the hydraulic structures like the dam. Disrupts the transport, सब रेल रोड सब ट्रांसपोर्ट इसके कारण टूट जाता है. ड्रेनेज सिस्टम जो शहर की है वो पूरी ड्रेनेज सिस्टम ब्लॉक हो जाती है, गंदगी फैलती है, बहुत सारा पानी और सिल्ट और गंदगी पूरे शहर में जहां फ्लड आता है वो एरिया में स्प्रेड होता है, और सब उसके कारण जंतु फैलते हैं और डिसीजेस स्प्रेड होते हैं. सॉइल जो है वो सॉइल का इरोजन हो जाता है, सॉइल की न्यूट्रिएंट कैपेसिटी कम हो जाती है, जानवरों का नुकसान होता है, लोगों की जान जाती है, ड्राउनिंग द फार्म एनिमल्स, also the forest animals or the environment and wildlife is also washed away, is also lost. So these are the roads are washed, all these things. The various causes of the floods are the heavy rainfall causing the river banks. So heavy rainfall for the high intensity rainfall, floods generally developed over a period of days, ड्यूरेशन बहुत ज्यादा है फ्लड रेनफॉल का, तब भी फ्लड आता है। एंड कैन है, और कभी कभी जैसा अभी हमारा एक दोस्त उधर जम्मू एंड कश्मीर में है, तो जैसा हिली एरिया है, हिमालयन एरिया है, तो वहां पे ये मानसून में पूरे क्लाउड्स कॉन्सेंट्रेट हो जाते हैं, और वो कॉन्सेंट्रेट वहां पे रुक जाते हैं, और वहां पे फिर एक साथ जोरों से बारिश आती है, जिसको क्लाउड बस्ट करके बोलते हैं, वेर इन लॉट्स ऑफ द हेवी रेन फॉल्स ओवर ए शॉर्ट पीरियड ऑफ टाइम। तो उसके कारण फ्लैश फ्लड्स आते हैं। So due to this, for therefore three types, if we divide this flood or the discharge into three types: standard project flood, maximum probable flood, and the design flood. We are more interested in the design flood. The various factors including the flood. Again, the factors which affects the runoff, which affects the hydrograph, that is the basin characteristics, storm characteristics, they again affect the flood. There are various methods for the estimation of the flood, peak flood, because we are more interested in finding out this flood quantity, flood discharges. But as these are all unpredictable things on which this flood depends, so therefore mathematically we cannot model or we cannot standardize कि इतनी बारिश आई तो इतना फ्लड आएगा ही, क्योंकि all these hydrological parameters are dependent on each other and there are certain parameters which we cannot predict. इसलिए हम फिर statistical study का यूज करते हैं, statistics, probability वगैरह। The methods used for the estimation of the flood are the physical indication of past floods, empirical flood formula, unit hydrograph, flood frequency analysis. That is the statistical method. हम इसका यूज करके फ्लड एनालाइज करते हैं, फ्लड निकालते हैं, कितना बारिश आने वाली है, कितना फ्लड आने वाला है, फ्रॉम द पास्ट रिकॉर्ड्स, पुराने जो हमारे पास में रिकॉर्ड है उस पर से। देयर आर सर्टेन स्टैंडर्ड एनवेलपिंग फ्लड्स कर्व्स एंड सर्टेन रैशनल फार्मूलाज आर देयर। So there are various methods to find out the floods. The various formulas are there, like the rational formulas. Discharge is equal to some constant into catchment area into intensity of rainfall. Okay, 1 upon 3.6 C into A. I is the mean intensity of rainfall. A is catchment area. C is constant, which is called as the coefficient of runoff. Depends on the catchment area type. There are certain rational formulas like the English formula. Again, the basis of the formula is discharge is equal to some constant multiplied by intensity of rainfall multiplied by the catchment area. That is the relation between the runoff and the rainfall. Various formulas are there, certain empirical formulas like the Deacon's formula, like the Rieu's formula, English formula. This formula is used in our, that is in Maharashtra part of the India. Discharge is equal to 123A upon square root A plus 10.4 or 123A raised to half. A is catchment area. महाराष्ट्र का जो है, महाराष्ट्र, कर्नाटका, तमिलनाडु और southern and the central part of India, there are certain envelope curves also. But frequency study we use, wherein we interpret the future probability of occurrence of the flood from the past record. Some statistical analysis we do, some statistical modeling we do, and we try to find out, like the in our course we have that Gumbel's formula, wherein with the help of that formula we can find out the future flood. Unit hydrograph method, just now we have discussed, unit hydrographs are used. Now the flood routing. Flood routing is nothing but by knowing the flood hydrographs at different locations of the river. Okay, I will repeat again. Flood routing is nothing but for knowing or getting the flood hydrograph on different locations of the river or the stream from a known single hydrograph at the upstream location. यानी नदी के अपस्ट्रीम लोकेशन में का यदि हाइड्रोग्राफ हमारे पास में है तो वह हाइड्रोग्राफ से यदि हम नदी के नीचे के पार्ट के हाइड्रोग्राफ निकाल सके तो उसको फ्लड रूटिंग करके बोलते हैं. क्यों करते हैं भाई फ्लड रूटिंग? व्हाई द फ्लड रूटिंग इज बीइंग डन? फ्लड रूटिंग इज बीइंग डन to find out the quantity of water. It is done for various purposes, but mainly it is done for basically two purposes: to find out the quantity of water that may reach to the various locations of the stream so that we can design the structures, and also it is used to find out the damages due to the floods or spread of the water. So flood routing is the technique of determining the flood hydrograph at a section of the river or at various sections of the river by utilizing the data of flood at one or more upstream section. Flood routing is used for flood forecasting, flood protection, flood warning, for the design of the hydraulic structures like the water spillway, protective measures, hydro system, determination and location of the capacity and fixing the capacity of the proposed reservoir. Water dynamics के लिए ungauged rivers, peak flow estimation and the river aquifer interaction. Two types of the flood routing methods are there: reservoir and the channel routing. In reservoir flood routing, we use this reservoir flood routing to know the कैपेसिटी ऑफ द रिजर्वायर. कितने साइज का, कितने हाइट का, कितने विड्थ का धरण या डैम बनाना है, तो उसके लिए हम यूज करते हैं फ्लड रूटिंग का. जैसे डैम यदि हम बनाते हैं तो वो फ्लड वो डैम में एब्जॉर्ब होता है, तो वहां का हाइड्रोग्राफ इस तरह से दिखता है. ये पहले ये जो हाइड्रोग्राफ है, ये यदि डैम नहीं बनाया और रिवर वहां पे है तो वो रिवर का रन ऑफ जो रहेगा उसका ये हाइड्रोग्राफ है. लेकिन डैम बनाने के बाद में डैम के कारण कुछ फ्लड उसमें एब्जॉर्ब हो जाता है, तो वो हाइड्रोग्राफ की हाइट कम हो जाती है. यानी नदी के डैम के जस्ट डाउनस्ट्रीम के रिवर के में का जो फ्लड रहेगा डैम के ऊपर से पानी छोड़ने के बाद में, तो ये वहां का फ्लड हाइड्रोग्राफ ऐसा दिखेगा. तो दोनों हाइड्रोग्राफ के पीक में कुछ फर्क रहेगा, उसको एटेन्यूएशन करके बोलते हैं. तो इतना पानी डैम में एब्जॉर्ब होगा, उसको रिजर्वायर फ्लड रूटिंग बोलते हैं. और ऐसा ही फ्लड रूटिंग यदि हम एकाधे नदी का करते हैं, चैनल का करते हैं, तो उसको चैनल रूटिंग बोलते हैं. अभी के लिए सिर्फ हमें इतना ही समझना है कि भाई फ्लड रूटिंग यानी वी नो द फ्लड हाइड्रोग्राफ्स ऑफ द रिवर एट वेरियस लोकेशंस बाय नोइंग द फ्लड हाइड्रोग्राफ एट द अपस्ट्रीम लोकेशन टू यूज दिस फॉर द रिजर्वायर capacity calculations, for the flood damages, flood protections etc. फ्लड फोरकास्टिंग करके है कि भाई फ्लड पहले ही फोरकास्ट करना, मालूम कर लेना ड्यू टू द अर्लियर वार्निंग्स और द साइंस ऑफ द रेनफॉल, ओके, विद द यूज ऑफ द लेटेस्ट टेक्नोलॉजीज एक्सेट्रा. तो उसको शॉर्ट रेंज फोरकास्ट बोलते हैं, मीडियम रेंज फोरकास्ट और लॉन्ग रेंज फोरकास्ट करके बोलते हैं. देयर आर वेरियस फ्लड कंट्रोल मेजर्स आर देयर. फ्लड से बचाने के लिए वो है स्ट्रक्चरल मेजर है, स्टोरेज एंड द डिटेंशन रिजर्वायर, धरण बना के. लेवीज, जो नदी है वो नदी के दोनों साइड में कुछ दीवारें बना ली, कुछ वॉल्स, मे बी आइदर ऑफ द अर्थ एम्बैंकमेंट, लेकिन पैरेलल टू द रिवर, ताकि जो फ्लड का पानी बाजू में फैले ना, उसको लेवीज करके बोलते हैं. फ्लड वेज, नदी में ही एक आधा चैनल निकाल लिया बाजू से पानी बहने के लिए, ताकि नदी का पानी डाइवर्ट हो जाए, थोड़ा डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हो जाए. चैनल इंप्रूवमेंट, नदी के सेक्शन को अच्छा डेवलप करना. वाटरशेड मैनेजमेंट, कैचमेंट को बहुत फॉरेस्ट करना, फॉरेस्ट वगैरह ऐसा प्रोवाइड करना. नॉन स्ट्रक्चरल मेथड, फ्लड प्लेन जोनिंग, फ्लड फोरकास्ट वार्निंग, इवैक्यूएशन, फ्लड इंश्योरेंस एंड इमरजेंसी एक्शन प्लान. These are the various वन ऑफ द मेथड इज इमरजेंसी एक्शन प्लान। ये हर डैम के लिए बनाया जाता है। डैम बनाने के पहले गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का ये एक सर्कुलर है 27/94 का, ये इससे भी पुराने भी बहुत गवर्नमेंट के सर्कुलर्स है। उस हिसाब से कोई भी धरण बनाने के पहले हमें ये इमरजेंसी एक्शन प्लान या डिजास्टर एक्शन प्लान बनाना पड़ता है। और वो एक्शन प्लान बना के हमें बाद में ही उसको क्योंकि डैम यदि टूटता है ड्यू टू सर्टन प्रॉब्लम्स, ड्यू टू सर्टन इमरजेंसीज, then we should be prepared for that. For that purpose, this emergency action plan is there. So friends, we'll be stopping here. We'll be taking our break here.